Hello there, and welcome to Labour Media. You may have been made aware, if you've made the horrendous mistake of following me on Twitter, that I've left the Breakthrough Party. It was a tough decision, but I'd be lying if I said it wasn't made gladly. However, it has not been all for naught. I have no intention of making some sort of call-out on a party of less than 1,000 members, at least for now, but I think it serves as a good learning experience for today's topic. The left in Britain is on a bit of a back foot right now, with Liz Truss and her cronies passing 1,010,000 bad ideas, so I think it's best we smooth over the cracks. We're going to go bit by bit to discuss some problems with the British left, taken from my experience in Breakthrough, online and IRL. Let's get started. This goes not only for Britain, but for the West in general. Nobody knows what a socialism is. To be a socialist may as well just mean to be to the left of the Tories. Theory is incredibly scarce. I've heard people say landlords and CEOs can be socialists. I've heard people say that the Labour Party is socialist. I've heard people unabashedly think socialism is when the government does stuff. The democratic socialist meme expediates this. This phrase has become an excuse for being a sock-dem whilst keeping the radical moniker, being socialist whilst not being dedicated to the liberation of all people from the brutal maw of capital. Everyone's calling themselves a socialist whilst only ever holding those meagre progressive views. Believing in railway nationalisation, seeing minorities people, is apparently enough for people to consider themselves socialists. Indeed, as Lenin said, all the social chauvinists are now Marxists, don't laugh. I've been very hesitant to use the phrase petit bourgeois to describe the modern left because I've hitherto seen it as inaccurate. Indeed, the main body of the movement are proletarians, misguided proletarians, but proletarians nonetheless. However, I've recently seen an influence of the actual petit bourgeois, small capitalists who have to work for their own business, but still operate as bosses over workers. Not only, having been in Breakthrough, have I seen the influence of small CEOs and landlords in the party, sometimes occupying high positions, but I recall being asked about how our manifesto appeals to small businesses by someone in the party wanting to appeal to small business owners. I think it should go without saying that our only advice to small business owners as socialists should be for them to give up their property lest it be taken by hand or by brain. On a wider scale, I feel there's certainly this idea that small business owners should be appealed to, that landlords and CEOs don't occupy a position that is automatically exploitative. We're facing a very worrying trend where capitalists are setting the standard for the labour movement. Yet another symptom of lacking theory. Capitalists are bad not because they perpetuate and benefit from the current economic mode, which in turn causes us to march onwards to the grave of our planet, but because some individuals are especially cruel. This liberal viewpoint that sees individuals before systems allows this moderate movement to find supposed edge cases wherein capitalists can be good. Rest assured, the whole system is bane. Despite having beliefs that are more radical on social economic stuff, not at all that radical, these, quotation marks, socialists believe that the left needs to yet hold sanctity for imperial institutions. The left must still stand for the Union flag, imperial anthems must still be sung, and, most notably, the monarchy must be respected. Anti-monarchism is actually much more common amongst the left. This is definitely a Republican movement. However, this movement proves itself to be all talk, its members requesting demonstrations of respect when the Queen died. The same Queen that lorded over the working people, the same Queen that worked against decolonisation, the same Queen that hoarded the welfare of others when hungry, the same Queen that served as a figurehead for British imperialism at home and abroad. To respect the Queen, to mourn her passing, is to disrespect not only yourself, but to disrespect the millions she's oppressed via a charm offensive that manufactured consent for empire. We must also remark that patriotism is an aspect of the similar reactionary PATSOC left, represented mainly by the WPB in Britain. I've written about them before, link below, and it's safe to say that their overtly reactionary patriotism shakes hands with the social democratic passive patriotism. One is loudly patriotic, whilst the other is patriotic because it's believed to be natural. Both are worshipping at the same altar of reaction. The left in Britain believes it is radical because of its domestic stances, but what about their foreign policy opinions? Well, despite the fact that it is in the imperial periphery, where socialism will in likelihood spring up again and again, in fact sabotaging the imperial machinations of their own nation is the key job of the Western left, the British left are utterly horrendous in regard to foreign policy. This is immediately evident from how many of them see the social democracies of Europe as the benchmark for socialism, despite the fact that they are not socialist and that their welfare is ascertained from the exploitation of and the unending warfare upon the periphery. I remember I wrote a script for Breakthrough for a video on nationalisation, and I referenced Cuba as a good example of the practice. Practically my whole script was rewritten when I got a hand back to me, and the references to Cuba were replaced with references to Germany and France, though I was able to keep the measure of Cuba in there eventually. The issue here is the British left still sees the West as an unalloyed good. They believe not only that democracy does exist within the imperial core, but that it only exists here. They won't say it out loud, but it's plain to see. If you ever suggest that a non-Western country has better rights in any area than a Western country, you will be castigated, such as with those who correctly pointed out that Russia was more progressive on abortion than the US after Roe v. Wade was repealed. Despite it being correct, the very concept was mocked. Even those who consider themselves on the left cannot conceive of Russia having something over a Western country. I have no interest in defending the Russian government, by the way. It is certainly a cruel regime, but it is one that wouldn't exist without the West and their efforts to bring about shock doctrine in the 1990s. The average British leftist, even many of those who claim to follow Corbyn ideology, don't know this. Many don't even know that the UK, the country they live in, includes a colony in the form of Northern Ireland. Their points in foreign policy revolve entirely around Brexit and Ukraine. We desperately need more anti-imperialist education. Which brings me to my next point. The British left, especially among its younger elements, seems very progressive from the outset. We have the gayest parliament in Europe, after all, and it's very good to see how many of those on the left turn out to fight back the wretched tendrils of the TERF movement. However, there is very much still the issue of how moderate the British left is on the whole. As Malcolm X famously pointed out, the white moderates can be just as much of a hindrance to progress as the overtly reactionary, and we see this a lot, not only with the aforementioned Western exceptionalism and the veneration of imperialist institutions, but with racism that ranges from anti-Asian hate, as well as rampant amounts of casual ableism, for instance. I recall someone in Breakthrough blamed capitalism not on anything material, but on the rise of psychopaths. You can't see I'm making air quotes. This is where a lack of theory leads to reactionary tendencies. An individualistic view of the world that doesn't account for systems, and mixed with the history of eugenics pervading moderate thoughts, such as with the early writings of the Fabians and with Keynes' amicability to the subject, leads to politicians, capitalists and run-of-the-mill conservatives being branded with insane. These liberal socialists always jump to questioning the sanity of these individuals before considering the apparatus. An individual can't be wrong because they've been led to think that way, or because it benefits their class interests. They must be mentally ill, according to the liberal. This casual ableism is all too common, along with the casual racism and xenophobia. People think of themselves as progressive and thus do not believe they could possibly be racist, ableist or sexist or queerphobic. They think discrimination can only be something that flaunts a white hood and a swastika. They don't think of it in terms of a system that they themselves participate in. More education on intersectionality is needed. I might do a proper piece on that one sometime. The British left, be it Corbynist or more liberal yet, is obsessed with electoral politics. It is obsessed with forming a front between Labour, the Greens, the Lib Dems and the SNP. It is obsessed with entryism into the Labour Party, if not already supportive of Labour in the outright. It is obsessed with proportional representation, believing it will miraculously solve all of our problems, even whilst similar political turmoil breaks out in the rest of Europe. It reminds me of another breakthrough anecdote, wherein a number of party members were debating the topic of economics. It turned to a debate about political strategy, and one senior member then said, "A lot of people here don't seem concerned with achieving a majority in Parliament." Now, if you've read The State and the Revolution, and I certainly hope you have, this may sound familiar to you. It's a viewpoint exercised by the distorter of Marxism and developer of social democratism, Karl Kautsky. This demonstrates here a belief removed from movement building, one that believes that only voting can bring us to socialism. And these same people will call revolutionists utopian before then believing socialism can be voted in, even though this has never worked, and even where it has almost kind of sort of worked, it has faced brutal pushback, such as with Allende in Chile and with what's currently happening in Venezuela. Voting can be a useful tactic, but it should not be viewed as the end-all be-all, and it certainly should not be viewed above other tactics such as unionised action, mutual aid, mass education, etc. A campaign to elect a genuine socialist to local office could be used to raise class consciousness and better material conditions. Given my experiences at Breakthrough, I'd be wary and would recommend caution and revolutionary leadership in campaigning. To sum up, the British left has a lot of work to do. We are too bogged down in parliamentary tactics, rampant reactionism and misguided foreign policy, all stemming from a lack of theory. We need people to marry action and theory if we want to move forward, educating through hand and by brain. We should not be focused on placating CEOs or small businesses, but instead we should move forward ceaselessly towards a liberation of all people with an understanding of how capitalism intersects and accelerates other social contradictions. And we must hold no respect for our national institutions, but must instead be ready and willing to break up the present state of things and replace it with a new society that works for the people. No compromise on the victory of the working people. It is socialism in its fully understood form that will ward us away from an economy of extinction. Thank you for watching. A bit late on this one. I think it turned out alright. It was bloody noisy as well. Yes, well, we try and hold a single thought. It's been a bit away for a bit. Sorry about that. Hope you enjoyed. It has been a bit issue. Like, it was actually a couple of weeks ago, when I left the Breakthrough Party. I've been dying to talk about, because I think things from an outside looking in, things have gotten worse, and I think it's actually served as a bit of a microcosm for some problems with the British left, specifically this majority moderate tendency of the British left. Yeah, so I've been busy, but I will I can't promise that the next video will be expedient, but I hope it will be a bit more expedient than this one. Yeah, so of course transcripts in the description. Also the other videos I reference will be there. Yeah. Is that everything? Who am I yelling to? I'm not yelling to anyone in particular, that's brilliant. Yeah, so this has been Labour Media, and remember, Labour conquers all.